In the late 70s, I remember seeing a movie called Viva Knievel. In that movie was an amazing motorcycle called the Stratocycle. Now, the Stratocycle didn't have much screen time, maybe less than 5 minutes, but for me it was the most memorable part of the film. Back then, Ideal Toys created a Stratocycle, but it was at the end of Evel Knievel's toy line, so it had a relatively small production run. For that reason, vintage Stratocycles are one of the most sought-after Evel Knievel toys. For me, after having no luck finding a Stratocycle, I thought it might be fun to try and build my own. I started by purchasing one of the new classic stunt cycles from California Creations to use as the foundation of the project. My goal was to model some custom 3D printed parts that I could attach to this cycle and convert it into a Stratocycle. The best part about working with the California Creations stunt cycle was that the geometry is completely different than the classic Stratocycle manufactured by Ideal. This meant I could make my own design decisions when it came to making the parts look like they belonged together. So I got my calipers and took measurements, and I soon learned that modeling parts to fit over an existing three-dimensional object was a little more complicated than I thought, and a few times along the way I questioned if this project was even worth pursuing. That said, the more prototypes I made, the more I learned, and the parts started fitting together as I intended. Things were going so well, in fact, that the project expanded, and I started working on additional items like Evel's orange jumpsuit and a Viva Knievel-inspired helmet. Since my version of the Stratocycle and helmet were unique, it required the creation of custom decals that perfectly fit their shapes. Once again, this was another learning curve that had some of its own setbacks, but in the end, I am so happy with how they turned out. Last week, my Stratocycle project came to a conclusion, and I finally had a chance to see the result of months of work. It has truly become a prized possession in my Evel Knievel collection. Having said that, I don't want to keep all of this to myself. If others would like to create their own version of the Stratocycle, I have made the print files and decal sheets available as a free download. If you visit my YouTube channel called Jeff Bartels Knievel Jumps, you'll find a video that walks you through the build process, and in the description for that video is a link to download everything you need. This project has been a wonderful learning experience for me. I hope it may also be an inspiration for others to try new things, take a few risks, and in the end, create something amazing.